Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network this afternoon. From Darrell Kyle Field in Greeley at Northridge High School, it's another Longs Peak League clash as the visiting Fort Morgan Mustangs take on the Northridge Grizzlies. I'm John Beltran as the Mustangs are going for the season split of the Grizzlies, who had their way with the Mustangs on Saturday, 11-0. Let's get to the starting lineup for the Mustangs, brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Borrow locally from people you know. Equitable has been providing personal bankers to help you through all the steps. Stop by one of 10 locations across the plains or visit equitable-savings.com. For the Mustangs, batting first is the shortstop Charlie Langford. The pitcher Trey Romero hits second. The number 3 hitter is David Keller in center. The cleanup hitter is first baseman Jason Diaz. Left fielder Noah Aguirre hits 5th. Right fielder Chase Redding hits 6th. The catcher hits 7th. That's Tyler Baker. Batting 8th is the second baseman Joseph Layden. And Jaden Carrera, the third baseman, bats 9th. Diego Mondragon at first. We'll get to the second baseman here momentarily. That might be Mark Felix Llamas. Bo Greer short. Felix Llamas is at third. Brendan Peterson is at left. Louis Pisano in center. Zayden Gonzalez in right. Damian Alvarez behind the plate. And Parker Steckel will deliver the opening pitch, brought to you by Buildings by Design. And the right-hander delivers. Swung on, lined up the middle. It nearly took off the glove of the pitcher, Steckel. A line shot by Charlie Langford on the first pitch of the game. And it's a base hit. You could not hit that ball any harder, right on the screws for Charlie Langford, who's had an excellent offensive season. That'll bring up Trey Romero. Romero hitting .317 coming into the game. 2.5-step lead. Throw back to first, back in diving is Langford. Charlie batting .425 going into this game. The Mustangs at 1-8 in the league, 4-10 overall. 6-3 the league record for Northridge. The stretch and the offering. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes to sophomore Trey Romero. Northridge overall is 8-6. This game was supposed to be played tomorrow, but because of the weather forecast, it's today, and that fastball is a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. David Keller waits to hit next. Langford stretches it out to about a 3-step advantage. The pause. And the pitch. Breaking ball is a strike. Again on the outside edge, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Trey Romero. Okay, that's Reed pitching. That's the issue. The offering, Jace Reed, swing and a miss. And it's a strikeout of Trey Romero. That'll bring up David Keller. Right-handed hitter for Fort Morgan, 1 on and 1 out. Swung on and lifted down the right field line. That could be trouble. That's going to drop for a base hit along the line. Langford's going to stop at second. 2 hits to begin the game for the Mustangs, with that Romero strikeout sandwiched in between. Just a pop fly single for David Keller. But he'll take it. That's the way to place that baseball along the line. Here's Jason Diaz. Open stance for the right side. Looking back is Jace Reed. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. So Keller is able to lift his average from .348 a few points after the base hit. Diaz is batting .243 out of the 4-hole. No balls and 1 strike. Looking back. And the offering. Swung on, popped up behind the second base bag in the shallow center. This is going to be a long run, and that ball's going to be caught by Louis Pisano. He had to come a long way, but was able to make the grab. 2 down. And here's the left fielder, Noah Aguirre, hitting 158. Well, the Mustangs are up there swinging. Jace Reed has thrown just 8 pitches, and 4 balls have been put in play. Langford a big lead at second. Keller at first, the pitch, and that fastball is taken up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Mustangs back in action also on the road coming up on Thursday in Johnstown against Roosevelt. Weather should be pretty good, but not for the next 2 days, but it will be on Thursday. The offering. Fastball is up and in again, 2-0. Chase Redding is on deck. No score, top of the first inning. The Mustangs have 2 on and 2 down. Jace Reed at the belt. The pitch right there, a little bit low maybe. Took something off and it's 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. We'll get a game time temp. It's got to be in the 60s, you would think. The stretch. Diaz will be taking on the 3-0, and that is going to be a strike on the inside corner at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. The stretch. And long pause to pitch. That's up and in. It's a walk. And the bases are loaded for Redding. 66 degrees in Greeley. Redding hitting 250. Big RBI opportunity for the senior. Runners take their leads out of the stretch. The pitch swung on. That ball is lifted on the right side. Second baseman Steckel coming in, and now he finds the baseball and makes the catch. And that ends the threat in the top of the first. No runs on 2 hits. No errors, and the bases were left loaded. To the bottom of the first we go. Fort Morgan does not score. Northridge is coming to bat on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. Left-hander Trey Romero will be facing the following Northridge lineup after the Mustangs were held off the board. Batting first is the catcher Damian Alvarez. Parker Steckel, the second baseman, at second. The number 3 hitters, the DH Gannon McGean. Batting fourth is first baseman Diego Mondragon. Mark Felix Llamas, the third baseman, hits fifth. Bo Greer, the shortstop, bats sixth. The seventh hitter is the right fielder Zayden Gonzalez. Left fielder Brendan Peterson hits eighth, and Louis Pisano in center field bats ninth. The Mustangs defensively, Jason Diaz at first. Second baseman is Joseph Layden. Jaden Carreras at third. Charlie Langford at short. Around the outfield, Noah Aguirre in left. David Keller in center. Chase Redding in right. Tyler Baker's behind the plate. And Trey Romero facing the right-handed freshman, Damian Alvarez. And the breaking ball is lined foul along the left field side. No balls and 1 strike. And this Northridge team came to bat on Saturday, scoring 11 runs in the first 3 innings. A 3-hit shutout. The pitch, and that's in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Alvarez is hitting .345. They're hitting .334 as a team. The pitch swung on and lifted foul and out of play along the right side, giving chases Redding, but crashes up against the bottom of the fence. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Damian Alvarez. Mustangs just want to hang around and have a shot in the later innings. They've got no pressure now. They're just looking to have fun and play some baseball. And the 1-2 pitch, low. One with a curveball, down and in, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Northridge, they're having a good season, returning 7 starters. And a lot of their pitching from a year ago. The pitch swung on line. That's a base hit along the right field line. Redding giving chase to his left. Gets to that baseball quickly, holding Alvarez to a single. Well, both teams have base hits to begin their respective at-bats. And we'll have a courtesy runner for Alvarez. And that'll be the speedy Cooper Rose. Here is Parker Steckel, batting .375. Romero against Severance threw pretty well. He was down 5-2 when the Mustangs allowed 6 runs. That was 6 days ago as Severance won 11-2 in Fort Morgan. The stretch and the offering. That is right there for a strike down the middle at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Does a good job of changing speeds. We'll run the numbers here in just a second for Romero. Breaking ball is fouled off to the right. No balls and 2 strikes. Romero 1-2 with a 6.12 ERA. Now let's see if Trey can throw that out pitch. Long pause and the offering. Fastball is above the letters. That would have been a good out pitch had Steckel gone chasing, but he laid off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, man at first. No score, bottom of the first inning. Setting up at the outside corner is Baker. Long pause. The pitch. Curveball is upstairs. Count is level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 to Parker Steckel. Nothing doing over at first base. But Cooper Rose, man, he's got some long legs. He gets a jump. It's going to be tough to throw him out. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Rose. Yeah, Diaz not even applying the tag. There's no need to. Rose is there in plenty of time. The infield at double play depth. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a ball in the dirt. Baker's got to throw to second. He does because first base is occupied. The tag. And out at second base. First base was occupied. So that should be 2 down. That should be 2 down. As the tag was applied by Layden. That's a double play. That's a smart play by Baker. The inclination for the catchers to throw to first, but first base is occupied. So that's an automatic out. So there's 2 down. As Joseph Layden applied the tag. Here is Gannon McGeen. The pitch. Up and away with a breaking ball to the left-handed hitter. 1 ball and no strikes. That's twice. The last 2 road games that Baker's made a nice play gunning somebody down at second. That's fouled about 1,000,000 miles down the right side and way out in front on a pitch that was almost going to hit him. 1 ball and 1 strike. To Gannon McGee. No score, bottom of the first inning, the offering. Breaking ball is over but low. 2-1. One-stop shopping does exist at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Gas, food, and all your travel accessories, and that bounces in off I-76 and exit 66A in Wiggins. Stubbs Gas and Oil. 3 balls and 1 strike. To the DH, Gannon McGeen. The pitch. Oh, just a little bit low on the changeup, and he walks him. Second walk issued by Trey Romero. And that'll bring up Diego Mondragon. A junior batting .280, right-handed hitter. The sun has appeared and disappeared at times, cooling off the temperature just a tad. Romero looking over at first. The pitch is taken for a strike right down the middle, thigh high. No balls and 1 strike. Just win an inning or just tie in as many innings as possible, and you're right in this game as the visiting team. At the belt and the offering. Breaking ball is down and in. Count moves to 1-1, 2 down. A man at first base. No score in the bottom of the first inning. John Beltran from Darrell Kyle Field at Northridge High School in Greeley. Fort Morgan playing their 15th game of the season. Romero. Long pause. And stepping out is Mondragon. 1 ball, 1 strike. Baker lays down the sign. Again, a long pause. The pitch swung on and lifted foul and out of play. Off to the right, it's 1-2. Yeah, now Romero doesn't have to occupy himself with that base runner too much, or one pitch away, and he's not even in scoring position. With Gannon McGee at first, he just drew a walk. Romero delivers, swung on and grounded slowly left side. Carrera, third baseman, charges, sets, throws right to first, and a perfect throw for the out. And that does it for Northridge in the bottom of the first inning. No runs on one hit, no errors and one left. We head to the second in 1 minute. Northridge nothing, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We move to the top of the second inning. Fort Morgan nothing, Northridge nothing. It's the bottom of the order. Baker, Layden, and Carrera against right-hander Jace Reed. Mustangs have the bases loaded in the top of the first, so they did threaten. As Baker, Mustangs with an all right-handed hitting lineup with the exception of Trey Romero. Baker hitting 174. As the catcher bats. The windup by Jace Reed and the pitch. Fastball is over for a strike at the knees on the outer half. It's 0-1. Northridge in their white uniforms, the Mustangs in their road grays. Actually is operating out of the stretch with the bases empty. Jace Reed delivers way outside. Man, he's coming with some heat. And the count levels at 1-1 strike. I thought there were lights on this field, but that's the corresponding field over there. That's not a baseball field. Yeah, it's a soccer field. And, of course, the football field off to our right. 1-1 strike to Baker, top of the second inning. No score. Jace Reed delivers. The breaking ball is up and away. Ball 2, strike 1. Mustangs did have one situation this year when they lost at home and then defeated that same opponent. That was Frederick. Frederick beat them 3-0 in Fort Morgan. Then Morgan came back to win 8-4. 2-1. Down and away. 3 balls and 1 strike on Tyler Baker. Jace Reed. Long pause with nobody on base. Swung on and grounded to third on 2 hops. An easy play and a bullet throw to first is delivered by Felix Llamas for the out. 1 down. 1 down for Joseph Layden. Reed goes into the game with an 0-3 record and a 5.6 ERA. A chance for the Mustangs to jump on him. They already had 2 hits in the first inning from Langford and Keller. But Fort Morgan has scuffled this year at times offensively. The pitch, swing and a miss on a tailing fastball. Layden hitting 143. 0-1. Slightly open stance. And Reed takes a while just to get off the next pitch. Swung on and hit in the air down the right field line. Let's see who's going to call for it. In foul territory, Diego Mondragon makes the catch. 2 down. 2 down for Jaden Carrera. Yeah, there's really no sun to fight. That could have been the only issue there, but not right now. Carrera, the freshman, out of the 9-hole, hitting .214. Reed with a pitch. Fastball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. This infield looks like it would play fairly slow. The grass looks a little bit thicker. With 2 out and nobody on. The pitch, swung on and line foul off to the right. One with a blazing fastball, got a late swing on that. It's 1-1. With Charlie Langford on deck, he almost took the pitcher's head off last time. Laying down the sign is the catcher, Alvarez. The pitch, breaking ball is a strike. I don't think he went, but it's a strike anyway. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jace Reed is looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Again, Alvarez puts down the sign. And the pitch. That is just outside, I guess. That was close. Wow, Carrera took a pitch that he could have been rug up on, but just off the plate. 2-2 to the freshman third baseman. Reed at the belt. The pitch swung on and chopped foul along the third base side towards the Northridge dugout. Remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, we need more days like this, but that's going to change tomorrow. That's going to change considerably tomorrow. Alvarez setting up on the outside edge. 2-2 up and in with a fastball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We began this game about 4:07. In the top of the second, no score. Carrera awaits the 3-2 pitch, the payoff pitch. Here it is. Oh, that ball got him. Oh, man, it got him on the back of the helmet. He did not see that tailing fastball. He might have thought that was going to be a breaking ball. Thank God for a helmet. I mean, that pitch was tailing in, and it got the back of the helmet. Oh, man, that's a scary thing. Coach Langford's going to check on him over from his third base coaching position because you could clearly hear that made some solid contact with the bottom of the helmet. Might have got part of his skin as well. And that'll bring up Langford, who had a base hit. And now a conversation between pitcher, catcher, and coach to make sure Reed is okay. That can rattle a pitcher. You come in on a hitter like that, I'm sure it's unintentional. Coach Langford making sure that Carrera knows his ABC so he can stay in the game. You got to go through basic numbers there so you're not in a fog. So here is Charlie Langford. Carrera's going to stay in the game. And he was not happy about it. But who would be hit by a pitch like that? Especially not near the head, pretty much at the head. Unintentional, though. It looked like a 3-2. You're trying to come in with a strike. Langford with a base hit his first time up. Carrera's off of first, about a 2.5-step lead. The pitch, down and away. Let's see how Reed pitches Langford now, considering that the first pitch of the game, he hit a bullet right through the middle. 1 ball and no strikes. Long pause throw back to first, and the ball skips away, but only a few feet behind the first baseman, Mondragon, so Carrera will not advance. Well, and this is one of these fields that the gaps are not listed numerically. The dimensions are not numerically listed, but it's a big field. This is certainly bigger than Fort Morgan's field. The pitch and the breaking ball's up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, there's a reason that Reed goes into the game with an 0-3 record and a 5.6 ERA. He battles some inconsistency. He commanded the first 2 hitters of the inning and ahead of Carrera, but then hit him. The offering, and that breaking ball's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fort Morgan nothing, Northridge nothing. Top of the second inning. The Mustangs left 3 on base in the first. Northridge stranded 1 in the bottom of the first. Carrera's got a healthy lead now. They might throw over there. And that Bender's in the dirt. He takes off as the ball skips away. For some reason, Alvarez throws to second. No need to throw there. That's going to be a wild pitch. Yeah, that's something you'll see a young catcher do, one that doesn't need to happen. When that ball skips away, there's no shot to get Carrera there. 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck is Trey Romero. The pitch, and that is a strike with a fastball at the knees down the middle. It's 3-2. A base is open. And keep in mind that Reed struck out Romero his first time up. Payoff pitch coming to Langford. Here it is. Swung on and lifted into the right center field gap. That's going to find a hole. That ball continues to roll towards the fence. It'll be cut off. Scoring is Carrera. Langford to second with a 2-out RBI double. And the Mustangs are on the board for the first time this season against Northridge. It's 1-0 in the second. And that'll bring up Trey Romero. Romero at 0 for 1. Yeah, you can't give in to Charlie Langford. You had a base open. And the number one rule in baseball, you don't allow the opposing team's best hitter, and he's been the best hitter this year for Fort Morgan, even to have a shot. But they pitched to him, and they made him pay the price. The pitch swung on and lined on one hop into left center field for a base hit. Langford around third. The throw is going to go to second. An RBI single, another 2-out base hit. This one from Trey Romero, and the Mustangs lead 2-0 in the second. A nice job of going the other way. There was a dive out there by the shortstop, Bo Greer, but to no avail. David Keller hit a fly ball down the right field line. That dropped for a base hit. The pitch, swing and a miss, pulled that hip quite a bit. It's 0-1. Yeah, that was a pitch. He could have gone the other way, but he opened up a tad too early. No balls and 1 strike. This all began with 2 outs and a bases empty, a hit batter, and then a double and a single, the offering. Fastball, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Well, that's a strike if they change the plate dimensions. 0-2, that was definitely outside. I mean, the catcher pulled the glove in. That's called a backhanded strike. No balls and 2 strikes. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss. That fastball was neck high, and Keller went chasing. And the Mustangs are done in the second inning. However, they pick up 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and a man left. 1 inning and a half is complete in Greeley. With the score, Fort Morgan 2, Northridge nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's move to the bottom of the second inning. Fort Morgan leads Northridge 2-0. It'll be Mark Felix Llamas, Bo Greer, and Zayden Gonzalez against left-hander Trey Romero. Felix Llamas, the third baseman, right-handed hitter, open stance. The pitch swung on and grounded foul right off the hitter. Felix Llamas hitting .273. Mustangs got an RBI double from Langford, run scoring single from Romero, swing and a miss. That was a nasty bender. Down and away, it's 0-2. And the left-hander to the plate. Fastball bounces to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 5, 6, and 7 in the Northridge lineup. The pitch. Breaking ball is upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bo Greer is on deck. The pitch. Foul to the screen. Went with a breaking ball. He hung that pitch, but Felix Llamas got underneath it. Remains at 2-2. Let's put him away here, Trey. On the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Baker. It's a fastball and a strikeout for Trey Romero. 1 down in the bottom of the second for Romero. That's his second strikeout. And here comes Bo Greer to the plate. Greer's only had 8 plate appearances, but hitting .500. Changeup is a strike on the outside corner. Thigh high, it's 0-1. Go, Bo. Romero gets the sign and the offering. The curveball is right there down the middle in the inner half. Knee high, it's 0-2. Romero's doing a nice job of mixing up those pitches. Greer's in an 0-2 hole. The offering. That is a fastball, but that's outside. 1-2. That was a strike at the top of the second, I'll tell you that. But that comes from a left-hander. It changes the perspective. The pitch. That is just off the plate. Holy mahungus, it's right there. 2-2. Man, Bo Greer's got a very keen eye. He took 2 pitches that he could have been rung up on. Very close. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on line towards center field. Keller's coming and is going to play it on a hop for a base hit. It was hit off the end of the bat. Nothing Keller could do there. So Bo Greer is on. Northridge with their second hit. That'll send up Zayden Gonzalez. The right-handed hitter batting .222. Greer with a 2-step lead. Romero, the left-hander, over to first, but nothing doing. That's a heck of an at-bat by Greer. He took 2 pitches in a row that were very close, and then he found his pitch. Back to first again. 2-0 Fort Morgan, 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the second inning in Greeley. Northridge won on Saturday in Fort Morgan, 11-0. The pitch swung on foul on the changeup off the end of the bat up the first base side. And that's the thing, Romero's doing a nice job of mixing up that fastball, the breaking ball, and the changeup. 0-1 to Gonzalez. Baker lays down the sign. Romero will step off. Again, it's 0-1 to Zayden Gonzalez. Short lead at first. The pitch. Foul tipped in the glove. Runner going to second to throw by Baker. The slide, and Greer is in there with a stolen base. And it's 0-2. Baker with a strong throw from his knees, but that was a great jump by Greer. No balls and 2 strikes. Now he had Greer at 0-2 and could not retire him. He's got to find an out pitch. Romero delivers. And that is a called strike 3, a beautiful breaking ball on the outer half just above the knee. Strikeout number 3 and 2 down in the bottom of the second inning for the left-handed hitting Brendan Peterson. That was a money pitch, and Peterson goes up there with a 200 batting average. And hopefully Romero will just concentrate on the hitter. Forget about that runner. The pitch. And that bounces in. Baker picks it up. There might be a play. Throw to third, the tag. And he's out. Got him. He tried to slide on the outside. But Carrera applied the tag. And Greer is out at third base. And Northridge is done in the second inning. For the Grizzlies, no runs on 1 hit. No errors, and the bases were left empty. As we head to the third in Greeley, the score, it's Fort Morgan 2, Northridge nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustangs have come to play through 2 innings. They lead Northridge and Greeley 2-0. Both runs in the second inning, an RBI double from Langford and a run-scoring single from Trey Romero, who has struck out 3 in the first 2 innings. Jason Diaz, Noah Aguirre, and Chase Redding. Diaz popped to center his first time up against the right-hander Jace Reed, operating out of the stretch with the bases empty. The pitch, fastball, is a strike on the extreme inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Wind's probably at about 7 or 8 miles an hour, very light wind. And that's right down the middle but low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jason Diaz, the first baseman for Fort Morgan today. Reed has thrown 40 pitches so far. And the offering. Swing and a miss over the top of the breaking ball. It's 1-2. Sharp-looking curveball thrown by Reed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted foul, out of play. Off to the right. Had a fastball above the letters. Shortened up that swing and stays alive. 1-2 to Jason Diaz. Man, what a glorious day. This is awesome. Even better with a Mustang victory. The pitch, down and away with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-0 Fort Morgan leads Northridge in the top of the third. The pause. The pitch, fouled along the third base side with a breaking ball down and in. Yeah, Reed is one of these pitchers, regardless of whether there's runners on base, he's going to go at a somewhat deliberate pace. 2-2 again to Jason Diaz. The pitch, swung on and fouled, went with another breaking ball to the backstop. Remains at 2-2. Yeah, our next good weather day will be the next Mustang game on Thursday in Johnstown against Roosevelt, 4 o'clock on B106. Long pause and the offering. Swung on and lifted foul along the third base side. I'm not sure why Diaz swung at that pitch. That ball was coming in on the fists. In fact, I don't know how he made contact. That was really going to hit him. He had to open up so much. And he barely made contact. But he's still in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the offering. Ooh, and he swung at that one and the ball hit him. That's going to be a strike. Yep. They're going to throw to first for the out. He did. The ball hit him, but he swung, so that's a strikeout as the strikeout is completed. I'm not sure why Diaz did not just turn and let that ball hit him. I mean, in a way that would have got him on base. So there's 1 out. He did that essentially twice in a row. Yeah, if he does not swing at that pitch, it's a hit batter. 1 out here for Noah Aguirre. Aguirre walked his first time up, and the breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes, and that's a smart play by Reed. Just keep coming in on the right-handed hitter if he's going to swing at the pitch. The offering, swung on and lined foul off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike, and hopefully Jason will adjust his next time up, because I know it's painful to get hit by a pitch, but that was really the best option for him there. 1-1, 1 out, bases empty, 2-0, top of the third. The pitch, breaking ball is, I guess, a little bit low. Man, that looked pretty good from here. I don't know. Strike zone is starting to get confusing. 2 balls and 1 strike, but Aguirre is ahead in the count. The offering, swing and a miss. That was a blazing fastball on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Noah Aguirre. The sophomore awaits. Here it is. Check swing. Did he go? I don't think he went. Oh, they're going to say he went. On a pitch that was tailing in, very similar to the Diaz pitch. And he strikes out, 2 down. Well, the Mustangs, and Coach Langford's going to check. I didn't think he swung. But there was no appeal at first. It was called by the home plate umpire. I mean, all he did was jerk his wrist a little bit, but I don't think he swung. And without an appeal, but I guess as long as it goes both ways, that's all Fort Morgan can ask for at this point. 2 down for Chase Redding. He popped to second with the bases loaded in the first inning. Pitch by Reed. Swing and a miss on a pitch up and in. Well, baseball is designed as a defensive sport. Pitching and defense always keeps you in the game. Some timely hitting is what Fort Morgan has so far with this 2-0 lead. The offering, swung on and fouled to the backstop. Challenged him with a heater right down the middle of the plate. And it is 0-2. Yeah, not too many clouds in the sky. As pleasant as it can get. Weather's pretty much biblical. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch, fastball is up and in. Good job of Redding laying off. 1-2. with the bases empty and 2 down in the third. Alvarez puts down the sign. Redding awaits. The pitch popped up in the infield on the left side. The third baseman, Felix Llamas, calls for it, makes the one-handed catch. And the Mustangs are retired in order in the third inning. 2.5 complete. It's Fort Morgan 2, Northridge nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Connection might have faltered a little bit at the end of the top of the second inning as Redding popped out to third to end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Jace Reed. Let's head to the bottom of the third. Trey Romero working in the shutout, swing and a miss on a breaking ball to Brendan Peterson. He was at the plate when McGean was tagged out at third. Lefty against lefty. And that ball hit him. It looked like he leaned into it. Yeah, he leaned into that pitch big time. That's a good call by the home plate umpire. He completely leaned into that. So he's going to stay right there. Yeah, there is no doubt. That is a good call. He'll stay right in the box. In fact, yeah, that was not that far inside. So the count will be 1-1. It's just called a ball. And the pitch, fastball, is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. This is the number 8 hitter on the lineup. The pitch popped up along the third base side. Baker, the catcher, is going to make the grab. And that was only about 7 to 8 feet along the left field line or the third base line, not with much trajectory, and there's 1 down.
Come on, get a start. Let's go.
1 out for Louis Pisano. Wind and pitch. The curveball is right down the middle for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Pisano, right-handed hitter for Northridge. Curveball is a little bit high. Pisano's hitting .286 on the season. 1-1. Curveball is just a strike. There you go with the knees. A little bit of a delayed call. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The offering. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball away. Strikeout number 4 for Trey Romero. 2 down. He's pitching a gem so far. And here's Damian Alvarez. Alvarez had a base hit his first time up. 2 runs on 4 hits for Fort Morgan. No runs on 2 hits for Northridge. Swung on and a ground ball into left field for a base hit. Alvarez has 2 of Northridge's 3 base hits. But the good news for the Mustangs, it comes with 2 outs and the base is empty. Parker Steckel struck out his first time up. Cooper Rose will be the courtesy runner for Louis Pisano. Or check that for Alvarez. Alvarez, the catcher, getting some rest. Steckel's been swinging a big bat despite the fact he struck out his first time up. He's a dangerous hitter. Fastball tails away. Took something off at 1 ball and no strikes. Romero has at least 1 strikeout in each of the first 3 innings. The pause and the pitch. Fastball is upstairs, 2-0. While the Mustangs scored both runs in the second on 2 out hits, a double by Langford and a single by Trey Romero. Got to come in with 1 now at 2-0. Long pause. The pitch. Curveball is a strike on the inside corner at the knees. Got to wait to make sure it's called a strike. 2-1. Romero's only 46 pitches deep. Decent lead at first. The offering. Breaking ball is outside. That missed. That's off the plate. It's 3-1. Romero has walked 1 in this game. I think I mentioned earlier 2, but it'll be 2 if he gets this guy on. 3-1. The pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Went with a heater right down the middle. 3-2. The runner, Cooper Rose, will be going with a pitch. With 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. In the bottom of the third, 2-0 Fort Morgan. Romero. Looking at first. To the plate. Curveball stayed high. It's a walk. And here is Gannon McGee, who walked his first time up. Romero asking Baker to run through the signs. There you go. He settles in the pitch. Swung on and lifted foul, out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Romero's getting more comfortable. Looks like with each and every start as a varsity left-hander. When you're only a sophomore, a lot of responsibility for a young player. The offering. Swung on and grounded to first. Diaz has got it right up against his chest. He steps on the bag. And that ends the bottom of the third inning as the Mustangs get out of that small jam. No runs on 1 hit, no errors and 2 left. 3 complete in Greeley. The Mustangs are in the lead over Northridge, 2-0. Take a break here in just a second as soon as we get our signal straight. They've got a 2-0 lead, but we'll keep it right here for a second. Right here on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We head to the 4th inning. Fort Morgan leads 2-0. Might have to switch things up here momentarily as standing in is Tyler Baker. Baker grounded out his first time up, and the fastball is down and in from right-hander Jace Reed. 2-0 Fort Morgan, both runs in the 2nd inning. Charlie Langford with an RBI double and an RBI single from Trey Romero. The pitch, swung on and lifted on the right side of the second baseman. Steckel makes the grab, 1 out. One out for Joseph Layden. Layden popped to first his first time up. Reed is 58 pitches deep, the offering. And a curveball is a beautiful pitch. On the outer half, it's a strike for the right-hander Jace Reed. Out of the stretch with the bases empty and the pitch. Swung on in line towards shallow right field. It's going to drop for Fort Morgan's 5th hit of the game in the first from Joseph Layden. Right off the end of the bat. That'll send up Jaden Carrera. Carrera hit by a pitch and he scored the first of the 2 runs. And that's really the difference in the game. Reed was ahead of this hitter 1 and 2, then just lost control of some of his pitches. The pitch. Swung on line, base hit into right field. Layden will go to second. He's going to stay right there. And now you've got Langford up there in a very dangerous situation if you're Northridge. Fort Morgan's best hitter all season is 2 for 2. He began the game with a line shot right up the middle, then drilled that RBI double in the right center field gap. Straight up at 5 o'clock, this is Morgan County's B106, KPRB Brush Fort Morgan. We're also on the TuneIn app. First and second, 1 out, 2-0 Fort Morgan in the 4th. The pitch in the dirt, skips away up the third base side, and the runners advance late into third, and Carrera to second on the wild pitch. Let's see if the infield is going to play halfway at least. The shortstop, Greer, might be in a step, and that's about it. A ground ball in the middle of the infield should score a run. The offering, swung on and fouled. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mustangs are looking to extend the lead in the fourth inning with a 2-0 advantage after Northridge won on Saturday 11-0. But the Mustangs have turned the table so far. The offering. Fastball is outside. 2-1. That's a big call. It was off the plate. They got to make sure. Off of third is Layden. At second is Carrera. 2-1 offering. Swung on line foul. Man, he got a pitch to hit. 2-2. Oh, solid swing, but was late on that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. These 2 hitters, Langford and Romero, have the RBIs in the game for Fort Morgan. Reed could be coming with a breaking ball. He's got a sharp breaking ball. 2-2. Here it is. Swing and a miss. He overpowered him with a fastball. Oh, man. That's a big strikeout from Jace Reed. 2 down.
Okay, one more. Let's go.
That is 5 strikeouts for Jace Reed. Here's Romero, who struck out and singled in a run. That's a big, big out. 2 still in scoring position. The pitch. Fastball tails away. One ball and no strikes to Trey Romero. Alvarez setting up on the inner half. The pitch. Fastball is on the outside corner. That was the pitch that Romero went the other way for the base hit. That time he laid off. 1-1. Runners take their leads, both in scoring position. Layden and Carrera, third and second respectively. The offering. Curveball is lined towards center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Run scores. Carrera around third. Throw towards the plate. Is up the third base side. And he slides in safely. And Romero to second. He's got 3 RBIs. That's a 2-run single. And Fort Morgan has doubled the lead in the fourth inning. They lead Northridge 4-0. Romero's having a heck of a game at the plate and on the hill. And he didn't hit it hard, but it was in the perfect spot. David Keller has singled and struck out. Again, despite the Mustangs' 4-10 record, they have proven this season they can play with teams. They just have to do it for the entire game. That is fouled to the screen. They had that early 4-0 lead on Severance last Thursday in Severance, and then ended up losing 17-7. They were down to Severance 5-2. They're up 4-0 in this game, but they have to play 3.5 mornings of baseball after this sequence at the plate. The pitch swung on. That ball is lifted into deep center field, and that ball is going to be caught shy of the track. Man, Keller gave that a ride, but it was caught near the track by Louis Pisano, and that ends the threat for the Mustangs in the top of the fourth inning. However, Fort Morgan is back on the board. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and a man left. 3 1/2 innings are in the books. In Greeley, it's Fort Morgan 4, Northridge nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Northridge in the bottom of the fourth inning. Fort Morgan on Northridge's home field with a 4-0 lead. Trey Romero has been a big story for the Mustangs. He's driven in 3, and he has allowed 3 hits and struck out 4. The pitch is swung on and grounded along the first base line. Diaz will field it. He'll step on the bag for the out on the slow roller. And Diego Mondragon is now 0 for 2, retired on the first pitch. The way Romero is mixing up 3 pitches has been masterful. He's only walked 2. Here is Mark Felix Llamas, 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Romero is not only in control, he's in command. Swing and a miss on a nasty curveball on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Can't throw it much better than that. From the right side, awaiting the pitch. Swung on and grounded sharply to short, and Langford has to go underneath his glove. He misplayed that completely on the two-hopper. Oh, you can't start that. First error of the game for the Mustangs. It was hit hard, but the play should have been made. Yeah, he let that ball play him completely. You get that on the second hop, and you come in. Here's Bo Greer. He singled and then was taken down at third base in his first plate appearance. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs. Yeah, you hate to see that. A pitcher's in rhythm. You pitch to contact. You got to make the plays, and that's why Fort Morgan has struggled defensively this year, and they're 4-10. 1 ball and no strikes. The left-hander Romero to the plate. Bounces into Baker. 2-0, and you don't want to create that domino effect where all of a sudden Northridge can build some momentum. That's why the Mustangs have to thwart it right now. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 on, 1 out. 4-0 Fort Morgan, bottom 4. Curveball must be a little bit high. 3-0. It only takes 1 hit after this to get Northridge back in the game. 3-0 to Bo Greer. Back to first. Greer was down in the count at 0-2 his first time up, and then he took 2 pitches that were close before he delivered a base hit. The pitch, that's a strike on the inside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. Looked like he went with the off-speed pitch. Very short lead at first for Felix Llamas. The offering. That fastball's high. It's a walk. First and second. Now you've got a big hitter to get out. With 1 out, and Zayden Gonzalez struck out looking his first time up. You've got a 4-run lead with 1 out and 2 on in the bottom of the 4th inning. You got to make the pitch, and the Mustangs have to make the play defensively. The offering. Curveball is up and away. And now Romero's falling behind these last 2 hitters. 1 ball and no strikes. 60 pitches deep is Trey Romero. Looking back. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Looked like he went with a changeup. It's 1-1 on the inner half. To right-handed hitting Zayden Gonzalez. Felix Llamas with a sizable lead at second. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and a ball tailing away. Oh, man, that had some lateral movement. 1-2 took something off of that. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gonzalez. 1 more here, Trey, to get the second out of the inning. The offering. Fouled on the breaking ball. Just behind the plate. Count remains at 1-2. A quality pitch from the left-hander. One ball and 2 strikes. The pitch in the dirt with a curveball. Nice block by Baker. And the count is at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Nick Norris has made an appearance. The University of Northern Colorado standout. 2020 Fort Morgan Mustang graduate, all-state football player. 2-2. And the offering. Swing and a miss. A strike out of Zayden Gonzalez at the knees. And there's 2 down. Here's Brendan Peterson, who popped out. Peterson hitting for the left side. Stepping in here with 2 on and 2 out. Fort Morgan with a 4-0 lead. Long pause and the pitch. Swung on and grounded foul along the first base side. No balls and 1 strike. I mean, Romero pitching he's very composed too. Doesn't ever look really rattled, at least not externally. even with the error that was committed by Langford earlier in this inning. Just shakes it off. Did walk the next hitter, but then struck out Zayden Gonzalez for the second time in the game. No balls and 1 strike. 2 on, 2 out. This is the number 8 hitter in the lineup. You get him out, you start with the number 9, obviously, in the 5th inning. Peterson hit that little pop-up that was caught by the catcher Baker along the third base side. Throw to second, and that bounces in. You want to be careful. Again, that's a low percentage play. You get the hitter, and the base runner doesn't carry much relevance at all. And you're ahead in the count at 0-1. Yeah, you don't want to throw that into center field and give Northridge some momentum in the 4th inning. Romero at the belt. Long pause to the plate. Swing and a miss and a sweeping breaking ball down and away. And that had late life to it. It's 0-2. To Brendan Peterson. Northridge at 8-6. Fort Morgan at 4-10. But the Mustangs have the 4-0 lead in the 4th. The offering. Curveball called strike 3. That was nasty right down the middle. And that ends the threat for Northridge. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 left. To the 5th inning we go. Fort Morgan 4, Northridge nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the 5th inning. Fort Morgan 4, Northridge nothing. It's a masterpiece being thrown by left-hander, a sophomore, Trey Romero. 68 pitches deep. He's allowed 3 hits. He's walked 3. He struck out 6. He got out of another jam. Here is Jason Diaz, followed by Noah Aguirre and Chase Redding. What a victory this would be for Fort Morgan. They were 3-2 after 5 games. They've lost 8 of their last 9. And this Northridge team returns 7 starters, and they beat Fort Morgan 11-0 on Saturday in Fort Morgan. Jace Reed, the right-hander, to the plate. Swung on and chopped over the mound to the second baseman, Steckel. Sidearms to first, 1 down. Diaz is 0 for 3. That'll bring up Noah Aguirre, who has walked and struck out. Mustangs have 7 hits in the game. Northridge, as I mentioned, with 3. Mustangs have the game's only error. The offering, fastball, is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch with the bases empty. Jace Reed with the offering. Fastball is a strike on the extreme outside corner. Nick Norris, of course, the oldest son of, youngest son. Oh my God, what am I doing here? Jake is a coach. Youngest son of Holly and Boone Norris. Breaking ball down and away. That's 2 balls and 1 strike off the corner there to Noah Aguirre. Reed ready. And the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Manny threw a major league fastball right by Aguirre on the inner half. It's 2-2. Laying down the sign is Alvarez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Aguirre waits. Swung on and fouled off. Watch out in that Fort Morgan dugout. That's as late a swing as you can take. I think it hit off the top facing of the dugout. Thank goodness that's fully fenced. It's only a short opening there. That was close. The closest one was, well, besides Redding, was Baker. Redding's in the on-deck circle. Here we go with a pitch to Noah Aguirre. 2-2 in the 5th inning. The offering. Swing and a miss. Very late swing and a fastball on the inside corner. Two down. Chase Redding has popped out twice. 0 for 2. The pitch. Check swing foul. That was a check swing. That might have been a full swing had I mentioned it was the eve of his mother, Linda Redding's birthday. That could change the at-bat altogether with 2 outs and the base is empty, 4-0. Fort Morgan in the 5th inning. Curveball is up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. That would be Tuesday, April 25th. We're going to get as specific as possible. Time of birth will not be listed. No. And we're leaving out what year in the 20th century. 1 ball, 1 strike to pitch. Up and in. 2-1 to Chase Redding. 2 down, the base is empty in the top of the 5th, and Fort Morgan leads 4-0. Tyler Baker waits to hit next. Jace Reed, 81 pitches deep into this game. The stretch. The right-hander to the plate. Swung on and grounded to short. A big 2-hopper to Bo Greer. Throw to first is high, and it sails over the head. And now he goes to second. Mondragon throws to second, and out by a mile. He couldn't even slide. Is going to be Chase Redding. That'll be scored in error, but then he's out trying to take second. That'll be scored 6-3-6. And that does it for the Mustangs in the top of the 5th inning. No runs on no hits. There was an error and nobody left. 4.5 innings are complete. In Greeley at Darrell Kyle Field at Northridge High School. It's Fort Morgan 4, Northridge 0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads Northridge and Greeley 4-0. It's the 9-1 and 2 hitters, Louis Pisano, who struck out his first time up against Trey Romero. He's got 6 strikeouts. The pitch, curveball swung on and missed. It was in the dirt, skipping away from Baker. No balls and 1 strike. The Mustangs scored 2 runs in the 2nd inning, a 2-out RBI double by Langford. Trey Romero with an RBI single. Then he had a 2-run single in the 4th inning. The breaking ball's upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the right-handed hitter, Louis Pisano. The pitch swung on, popped foul, and out of play behind the backstop. The only thing you concern yourself with Romero is the pitch count. He's at 71 now. Would love to go the distance. He needs 9 outs. The offering bounces into Baker. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, Baker took a tough one there. He's getting up, favoring his body a little bit, but he's all right. Back in the crouch, 2-2. Romero fires, swung on, lined up the middle, and a dive by Langford. It's a base hit into left field. Langford nearly came up with that play towards left center on a hanging breaking ball, and Pisano comes up with Northridge's 4th hit of the game. Damian Alvarez has been Northridge's most dangerous hitter in this game. He's 2 for 2. He went the other way his first time up, then bounced one into left field in his 2nd plate appearance. Stretched by Romero. The pitch bounces in. Nice block by Baker on the curveball. 1 ball and no strikes. 4-0 Fort Morgan, bottom of the 5th inning. Short lead at first. Baker setting up away. The pitch popped up into foul territory, third base side. Baker is going to run out of room. 1 ball and 1 strike. He was out in front of that changeup. Nice changeup thrown by Romero. That's what happens when you got guys out in front. They will hit it in the air. Open stands for Damian Alvarez. The stretch. Step off by Romero. 1 stolen base so far in this game for Northridge. Romero's done a good job of holding whatever runners on base. Curveball is a strike on the inside corner. And he threw off Alvarez with that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now you protect. Let's go.
The stretch by the left-hander. The pitch. Fouled off the umpire's mask. One with a fastball.
Win it. Let's go.
Remains at 1-2. Challenged him up in the zone. Baker and Romero having a conversation now. I mean, Trey is executing virtually every pitch. Even some of the base hits are on some quality pitches. They're not necessarily out over the plate. And this team came in hitting well over 330 going into this game. Alvarez settles back in the box. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4-0 Fort Morgan, bottom of the 5th inning. 1 on and nobody out. Pitch from Romero. Curveball is just a little bit outside and high. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Romero ready. The pitch. Swung on line, foul. Count still at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Damian Alvarez.
Let's go, kid. Win it. Let's go.
Stretch by Romero. Go back to first, nothing doing. Over there at first base is Luis Pisano. It's a long sequence at the plate for Alvarez. 2-2 the offering. And did he swing? What happened? Oh, it's a balk. Yep. Romero did not come to a set. It's a balk. And Pisano to second. So it's still a 2-2 count. Two balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch is in the dirt. 3-2. Romero running into some trouble now. 80 pitches deep. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second. With nobody out at the bottom of the 5th inning. Big pitch coming up as he steps off. Yeah, now you pretty much know that Romero's not going to be able to go 7. Now with only 30 pitches remaining and 9 outs to get. So you've got to keep your team in the lead and then rely on the bullpen. The pitch swung on and chopped foul. Third base side. Not only that, Alvarez is doing his job. Even if he gets out, this is the 9th pitch of the sequence coming up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Luis Pisano awaits the pitch. Romero looks back. The offering. Fouled. Went with a breaking ball up and in. This will be the 10th pitch of the sequence. 3-2. Parker Steckel waits to hit next. Pisano at second. 3-2. And he bounces it in, and it bounces to the screen. Wild pitch sends the runner to third. And here's Parker Steckel, who struck out and walked. And Cooper Rose will be running at first base for Alvarez. I don't think there's any doubt that Rose is going to be taking off from first to place runners at second and third with nobody out. But you got to be careful over there. Romero's a lefty with a pretty good move, although hasn't had much of a shot in this game. Parker Steckel officially at 0 for 1. Romero pauses. The pitch. Fouled. One with a changeup. No balls and 1 strike. It was up in the zone, but again, underneath that pitch. No balls and 1 strike. This is the number 2 hitter in the Northridge lineup. The offering. Curveball is maybe a little bit below the knees. That's a great spot, but it's called a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. At third is Pisano. Cooper Rose at first. This is the biggest threat Northridge has had in the game. The offering. Fouled on the breaking ball. To the backstop. It's 1-2. Question is now you're going to have to get in a reliever for 2 innings, it looks like. Unless Trey can get out of this in the next 10 to 14 pitches. He's going to be at 114 pitches. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Awaiting. Here it is. Fouled on the breaking ball, down and in. Remains at 1-2. Maybe a ground ball up the middle to Langford, turn a double play, and with a run scoring, that would be nice just to get a couple of outs. The important thing, it doesn't matter how you get the out, just get 1 out. Don't let this rally build for Northridge. The offering. Swung on, and that's lined on 2 hops to Langford underneath his glove into left center field. Here comes Keller chasing it down. He'll throw towards third, and now the hitter's going to stay at first. That's a second error on Langford. And he's letting the ball play him, and Josh Langford not happy out there. I don't know what Charlie's doing out there. He's let 2 balls play him, 2 fairly easy balls. He's got to come in on that play. And a run scores, it's 4-1. 2 errors now on Charlie. And can't have that level of shortstop play out there, unfortunately, for Fort Morgan. It is an RBI, but that's exactly what you wanted, a hard ground ball that could have at least got the runner from first to second, maybe a double play. And there was nothing tricky about that hop. And Josh is certainly not out there with the infield talking to his pitcher as much as he is to his shortstop. Got to stay composed in this situation. Because now it's a little bit of a gift run. It would have scored anyway, so it's not a total gift, but the base runner is. Now the tying run is at the plate. And keep in mind, Fort Morgan has the only, Northridge did commit 1 error. Let me correct that. Gannon McGean has walked and grounded to first. Still nobody out. Bottom of the 5th inning. The Mustangs with a 4-1 lead. A single, a walk, and a monstrous error. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and popped up into shallow right field. The second baseman Layden is out, backpedaling, makes the catch, no tag. The throw is going to go wide of the target, and it's going to go towards the Northridge dugout, but the run doesn't score. However, going from first to second is going to be Steckel. That's going to be another error. Oh, man, Josh Langford not happy. Not happy whatsoever. He's out of the dugout. So there is 1 out, but you cannot allow that throw to get away. I don't know if that's on the cutoff not being there, but it skipped by everybody. Luckily, it did not score a run. The error's going to be scored on Layden because he made the throw, but there might have been a cutoff man missing for the Mustangs. Here's Diego Mondragon, grounded out twice, and the breaking ball is on the inner half for a strike. Fort Morgan has committed 2 errors in the inning and 3 in the game. Runners at second and third. 4-1 Mustangs. 0-1 pitch. Here it is. Curveball is upstairs. 1-1. And the thing you do with the errors is that you extend the pitch count. Not that one, but the earlier one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 in, 2 on. The pitch. Swung on, line, a dive and a base hit into left center. That's going to score Cooper Rose. Steckel around third. Throw's going to be cut off, and it's 4-3. A 2-run single by Diego Mondragon. Langford extended as far as he could to his left and nearly made an incredible play. That'll bring up Mark Felix Llamas, struck out and reached on an error. Felix Llamas, 0 for 2. Romero with a pitch. Swung on and tapped third base side. Carrera charges, gloves, throws on the run for the out. 2 down. And Mondragon to second. Bo Greer is singled and walked. 1 for 1 in the game. Can the Mustangs keep this at a 4-3 lead? And they've got to settle down once they get back into that dugout. Just keep things at bay, but get this out first. Romero steps off. Well, Trey has thrown 93 pitches. Get this guy out quickly. You can take the mound for the 6th inning because he is still throwing well. The left-hander to the plate. Curveball is a beauty. A strike on the inside corner. That was there. No balls and 1 strike. Thigh high on the corner. To Bo Greer, the stretch. The pitch. That's right there on the outside corner. It's 0-2. Well, you know, Greer snickering at the plate, but you know what? Those pitches are, those have been called strikes the whole game. I don't know what Greer's thinking about because those are strikes. The pitch swung on and tapped foul behind the plate.
Good job, Trey.
Remains at 0-2 to Bo Greer. Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with those first 2 pitches. Runner at second, 2 down, 4-3 Fort Morgan, bottom of the 5th inning. Romero delivers, and he called a strike on that one. And I don't know, wow, that pitch was in the dirt. Oh my gosh. And, well, that, I think the umpire might have taken exception to Greer snickering because that is a ball 100 times out of 100.
We can't miss that. Let's go.
I'm almost thinking that almost, wow. I don't know if he did that on purpose because that is one of the worst calls I've ever seen. Northridge scores 3 in the inning. We go to the 6th, Fort Morgan 4, Northridge 3 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the top of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan leads Northridge 4-3 at a very questionable, well, quite frankly, it was a ball, but the Mustangs caught a break with Romero striking out Bo Greer on a pitch that essentially was caught off the dirt. And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, the Mustang fans thought it was a ball. Tyler Baker is 0 for 2. He grounded out to third and popped to second. The right-hander Reed to the plate. Foul tipped into the glove of Alvarez on a fastball. No balls and 1 strike. Reed could go the distance. He's thrown just 83 pitches. Baker awaits the offering, and that is a little bit down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good miss, Jace.
Baker, Layden, and Carrera in the visiting half of the 6th inning. The pitch. Breaking ball is upstairs.
Where's that one? Come on now.
That's high, 2-1. Yeah, that's been called a ball throughout the game. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tyler Baker. Reed to the plate. Fastball is outside. 3-1.
Keep it there, Chase. They're all in there.
This is the 7, 8, and 9 portion of the lineup. Let's see if they can do some damage against Reed. 3-1. Popped up, foul territory along the third base line, and it's going to go over the dugout. Goes to 3-2. To Tyler Baker. This is a critical at bat to begin the 6th inning because Northridge has the momentum after scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning, getting that big 2-run single from Diego Mondragon. Reed ready. It'll be a payoff pitch to the catcher, Tyler Baker. Long pause, and here it is. Fastball is up and in. And, well, now it's 3-2. Okay. And now it's 3-2. Now we'll get a payoff pitch. Must have been one ahead of myself there. Here it is. And that swung on and grounded along the third base line, and that trickles foul. And again, we have a right-hander for Fort Morgan swinging at a pitch that they should not have swung at. That ball was going to be ball 4. That ball might have even hit him. We've had We've had at least 3 or 4 Fort Morgan right-handed hitters swing at pitches that were clearly going to get them on base either by ball 4 or hit by pitch. Baker's still in there, and that got him on the fists. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Reed to the plate. That's up and in. There you go. That's a pitch you take. It's a walk to Tyler Baker. That's the way the 6th inning begins for Joseph Layden, who had a base hit his last time up. Popped out to the first baseman in his first at bat. He's 1 for 2. Fort Morgan 4, Northridge 3. 1 on, nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. Reed is 90 pitches into the game. Scoring to bunt is Layden, and he takes it for a strike. I'm not sure why he took that pitch. That's a perfect pitch to bunt on the inside corner. Pretty much belt high. It's 0-1. Ooh, I'm sure Joseph would love to take that back. That was a perfect pitch to bunt. Let's see if Coach Langford calls for another bunt. The third baseman, Felix Llamas, is a step in on the grass. Throw back to first. Baker back in diving. The Mustangs with 2 runs in the 2nd and 2 in the 4th. Northridge countered with 3 in the bottom of the 5th. No balls and 1 strike to Joseph Layden. Again, we'll see if the bunt sign is in effect. Long pause. Short lead at first. The pitch squaring to bunt. Lays it down beautifully. Third base side. It's gloved. Throw to first by Felix Llamas is right there with the second baseman Steckel covering. That'll go 5-4. 1 out. Sacrifice successful for Joseph Layden. Jaden Carrera has been on base twice. Hit by a pitch and singled. He's got a runner in scoring position. The stretch by Jace Reed, the pitch. And that breaking ball inside. One ball and no strikes. The pitch. That's right there for a strike. A fastball at the knees. Down the middle, the count is even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Top of the 6th inning, it's a 1-run lead for Fort Morgan in Greeley, 4-3. Baker off of second. Reed delivers. Down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. With Charlie Langford waiting to hit next. Nice lead for Baker at second. Reed delivers. Swung on and chopped over the mound. Steckel, the second baseman, gloves it to his left sidearms to first. And he gets Jaden Carrera by a step and a half. To third is Baker, 2 down.
Working hard here, Diego.
Steckel nearly had some trouble with that one on that somewhat tricky hop, but he makes the play. Big at bat for Charlie Langford. An RBI single, then a double, then he struck him out. 2 for 3 is Langford. And they are going to pitch to him with 2 bases open because Romero's got 3 RBIs and he's on deck. The pitch fouled off to the right on a fastball up and away. This will be a huge run for Fort Morgan because you're the visiting team. And Northridge still has 6 outs to play with. And it's only a 1-run lead. Mustangs were up 4-0 after 3.5. No balls and 1 strike. Runner off third is Baker. The pitch. Breaking ball is fouled off to the right. 0-2 to Langford. Mustangs have led since the 2nd inning. Northridge has not had the lead in the game. Reed with an 0-2. Here it is. That is inside. Oh, that's definitely inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A very good pitch, but it was a little bit inside, no doubt. 1-2 to Charlie Langford. Langford will call time. This will be the 100th pitch delivered by the right-hander Jace Reed.
You got it, Charlie.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Reed stretches. The offering. Fouled on a pitch that was up and in. That's all he could do with that pitch if he was going to swing at it.
Go get him, Jake.
That's not a hittable pitch at least for a base hit, but he stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes, once again to Charlie Langford.
Come on, Jake.
Mustangs outscoring Northridge 4-3. They're out hitting Northridge 7-5. Reed to the plate, up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He might be setting up that fastball with a breaking ball. We'll find out. Baker off of third. Lining up there in foul territory in case the ball hits him. Breaking ball is upstairs. 3-2. Again, Trey Romero's on deck. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Charlie Langford with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. The offering. Called strike 3, fastball right down the middle. No doubt about that. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. 5 1/2 innings of baseball have been played in Greeley. Fort Morgan is clinging to a 4-3 lead over Northridge on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Chase Redding is the new pitcher. Trey Romero did a fine job over 5 innings. He goes to first. And Chase Romero is in right field. Redding called on to pitch hopefully the last 2 innings and get the save. Mustangs lead Northridge 4-3. It'll be the bottom 3 in the lineup: Zayden Gonzalez, Brendan Peterson, and Louis Pisano. And we know that if Chase is just throwing strikes, that's where he's effective. I mean, every pitcher is effective. But got to stay away from the base on ball. That's the key here. Zayden Gonzalez has struck out twice. And that was against the starter, Trey Romero. The Mustangs with 4 runs on 7 hits, 3 runs on 5 hits for Northridge. The Mustangs have committed 3 errors. Northridge with 1. The pitch. Fastball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Zayden Gonzalez. And the offering way outside. Got to keep that front side a little bit closed. That front side flies open and those pitches tail away. 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball's up and in. 3-0. That's the one thing that Chase has been battling this season, just trying to keep it in the strike zone. There you go, with a strike down the middle. With a fastball, 3-1. 2-3, a 9.08 ERA, 33 strikeouts, 28 walks in 24 2/3 innings. 3-1 pitch. Fastball is up and away. It's a walk. That'll bring up Brendan Peterson, who has popped out and struck out looking. 0 for 2. The tying run is now at first base.
Settle down.
Well, this is the number 8 hitter. You could have a bunt sign in effect. Watch out. Carrera's got to be ready at third. If they do bunt, the stretch by Redding. Gonna square the bunt. And he pops it up, and Redding dives, and he can't make the catch. Baker's gonna pick it up, and he throws to second, and it's late. Well, that's gonna be scored a base hit. Because Redding had to lay out, it scored a base hit. Oh man, what a break for Northridge on a pop-up bunt. And first and second with nobody out for Louis Pisano. Chase had the glove side up, and maybe had he tried to make a basket catch, but that's tough for a pitcher. You're coming in and you lay all out for that one. Pisano might be bunting. The stretch. Pause by Redding. Scoring to bunt, the pitch, and that bounces in. Nice block by Baker. 1 ball and no strikes. Pisano officially at 1 for 2. Off of second is Gonzalez, the lead runner. Again scoring to bunt, throw to second, the tag, and safe. Nice spin there by Redding and the tag applied, but Northridge is certainly ready for that. They're going to play it conservative and allow Pisano to lay down a bunt to advance the runners. The pitch, and that is bunted out in front of the plate. Redding spins, throws to third for the out on the force play. That's going to go 1-5. A nice play by Chase Redding, 1 down. It was bunted too hard, and Redding made an outstanding play. Damian Alvarez, though, has been a terror. He has singled twice and walked. He's been on base all 3 times. And Damian Alvarez is not up there to bunt. He's going to be swinging away. Got to be careful. Baker's got to block everything. The breaking ball is right there for a strike. Outstanding pitch on the inner half at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. That might get Redding into a rhythm now. 4-3 Fort Morgan. 2 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning in Greeley. The Mustangs are looking to snap a losing streak. A 4-game losing streak. The stretch. The pitch. Swung on and lifted into right center field. Chase Romero now comes in, and he's going to make the running catch. The throw's going to go all the way through to third, and the ball gets away, and then did it bounce over the fence? It did. It bounced over the fence. It's going to be a throwing error on Romero. It's going to tie the game at 4. Oh my gosh, a 2-base error as it took a wild bounce. That's why you throw the ball very low and not try to nail the runner going from second to third, and we're tied at 4. It's an error on the right fielder, Romero, allowing the run to score. And the go-ahead run is 90 feet away because Pisano was headed to second, and once the ball took a hop after it got by Carrera and it bounced over the fence, they gave him an extra base, which is the correct ruling. Parker Steckles 0 for 2. The pitch upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. And again, a Fort Morgan error has really hurt them in this game. That's their 4th miscue of the game, and 3 of them have really come back to haunt them. 1 ball and no strikes, the pitch. And that's off the glove of Baker. Runner headed to the plate. And no throw. And in there with a go-ahead run is Louis Pisano. And it's 5-4 off the wild pitch.
Hey, need a good AB here. Hold on now. Need a good AB.
So Steckel is up there now with a count in his favor. Northridge is in the lead for the first time in the game. Close the book on Trey Romero, by the way. 5 innings, 97 pitches, 3 runs, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts, 5 hits, 4 walks. The pitch. Breaking ball's a beauty. Count is at 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, man, the Mustangs just hurting themselves, and that one bounces in. This has been one of the stories of the season. Fort Morgan plays competitive baseball, but they make a couple of errors and the opposition capitalizes. The pitch, and that went over the head of the hitter Steckel. It's a walk, and that's a live ball, but Baker chases it down.
Settle down.
That'll bring up Gannon McGee. Well, you keep it at 5-4. You still have your 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up in the 7th for the Mustangs. So the heart of the order will be up for Fort Morgan, but if they can get this last out, that would make the situation a lot easier. McGee is 0 for 2. The pitch, fastball, tails away for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike to McGee. 0 for 2 in the game. Long pause. The pitch. Breaking ball is fouled straight back, and Baker's giving chase. He might have room, and it's on top of that little shed. And it's 0-2. I don't know what that is. Shed? Yeah. It's not a dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. Here to McGee. Short lead at first. Redding stretches at the belt. 0-2. Fastball just inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And ball got loose in the infield, backed up. And when you look at the end of this game, if Northridge wins, it's going to be the Airs, 4 for Fort Morgan and 1 for Northridge. Mustangs at a 4-0 lead going into the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing now 5-4 the pitch. Swinging and missing a ball in the dirt. And Baker's got to pick it up, drops the ball, throws to first, and that one skips down the right field line, and the ball is picked up by Layden. And Baker should have taken off that mask perhaps because he thought he had the ball in his glove. It'll be a strikeout and a throwing error, allowing the runner to advance to third. Mustangs have now committed 5 miscues in the game. Here's Diego Mondragon, 1 for 3. He thought he had the ball, but I think that's one of the reasons you rip off that mask so you can see the ball better. When you don't do that, you're kind of looking through a cage there. And it's a challenge for the catcher. The stretch. And the pitch. Down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. And barehanding it is normally easier than gloving it. And when you glove it, it's tough to really get a grasp on that baseball as opposed to barehanding it. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. Bounces in, bounces away. Runner to the plate. Redding covering to throw the slide. And the ball gets loose in the infield. A wild pitch scores Steckel. Northridge leads 6-4. And it's 2 balls and no strikes on Mondragon. 6 unanswered runs for Northridge. We're at the top of the hour. This is Morgan County's B106. KPRB Brush Fort Morgan. 2 balls and no strikes to Mondragon. Runner at second. Redding to the plate. Down and away with a bender. 3-0. Felix Llamas waits to hit next.
Bring him in, Diego.
Looking back is Redding. Pitch is a little bit low with a fastball. A walk, first and second, 2 down. Felix Llamas has struck out, reached on an air, and grounded to third. 0 for 2. Northridge has scored 6 runs. Only 3 of those have been earned. The pitch swung on and grounded to short on a Sunday hop, and the ball hits the runner. It'll be a base hit, but then the put out will go to Charlie Langford. It scored a base hit when the ball hits the runner, but the runner got hit by the ball, and the shortstop gets the put out, and that's the way that scored. In the inning, 3 runs for Northridge on 2 hits. There were 2 Mustang errors and 2 left. We head to the 7th. The Mustangs now need to rally for the first time in the game as Northridge leads in Greeley 6-4 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's move to the 7th inning. Diego Mondragon is the new pitcher for Northridge. Gannon McGee will now be at first base. Those are the changes for the Grizzlies. Fort Morgan led 4-0, and now they trail 6-4 here in the 7th. Trey Romero has struck out an RBI single and a 2-run single, which in the 4th inning gave the Mustangs a 4-0 lead. Mondragon trying to close this game for Northridge. Big, strong right-hander. The pitch, and that tails away for a strike on the extreme outside. Wow. Looked like that was off the plate. Well, according to this is Mondragon's first appearance. Breaking ball bounces in.
Good miss. Oh, no.
1 ball and 1 strike to the left-handed hitting Trey Romero. The pitch, that's upstairs. Took something off of that. It's 2-1. Romero, Keller, and Diaz in the 7th for the Mustangs. Getting the sign is Mondragon. The offering swung on and popped up foul territory and out of play. 2-2. And Mondragon's gone with some good off-speed stuff.
One more, Diego. Here you go. Win it.
Both teams have 7 hits in the game. However, Fort Morgan with 5 errors and only 1 for Northridge. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, breaking ball is outside. 3-2. Yeah, that's clearly outside. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a good pitch, but it's not a strike. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. And the 3-2 pitch, way outside on a fastball. It's a walk to Romero. That'll bring up David Keller, who has singled, struck out, and hit a missile into pretty deep center field that was chased down by Pisano. The Mustangs have only 1 home run this year that came from Langford at Mountain View. So they're not looking necessarily for a 4-bagger, but they'll take it. The pitch, fastball is right down the middle for a strike above the knees. It's 0-1. Northridge 6, Fort Morgan 4, top of the 7th. 1 on, nobody out. On a perfect day for baseball. Stretched by Mondragon, the right-hander. To the plate. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat up the middle of the shortstop. Stepping in the bag and throwing to first high. And then Keller's going to take off for second. And the throw is not going to be made. It'll be a fielder's choice 6 unassisted. And the error on Greer, he had an easy double play. Easy double play, but he threw it away. 1 down. One down. Jeez. People don't know the game here. Here's Jason Diaz, 0 for 3. Everything's being questioned here. The pitch. Breaking ball's a strike. I've never heard so much being questioned by the home team. And I get 1 call. That I get. But knock it off already. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 6-4. Mustangs trail by 2 in the 7th. And the offering. Swung on. That ball is lifted down the left field line, and that is inside, and it's going to be caught. I'm not sure. The left fielder, Peterson, had some odd body language, which threw me off a bit, but he makes the catch. 2 down. Two down for Noah Aguirre. Walked and struck out twice. Yeah, Diaz got a pitch down and in. And kind of golfed it out there. Mondragon 1 out away from the save. Tying runners at the plate. The pitch. It's upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes.
Hey, get me down now. On now.
Here to Noah Aguirre. Keller at second. The pitch. Curveball bounces in, blocked by Alvarez. 2 balls and no strikes. To Noah Aguirre. Fort Morgan back in action coming up on Thursday in Johnstown, 4 o'clock against Roosevelt right here on B106. 2 balls and no strikes. The stretch. And the offering. Fastball, that's a strike down the middle above the knees. It's 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike to Noah Aguirre. Keller leads. At the belt. And to the plate. Looks pretty good from here, and that is called a ball. Wow. That Barely missed. 3-1.
Keep pounding your zone. Hold on now.
Very close pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Hold on now.
And the offering. That is taken for a strike. Say he might have swung, but I'm not sure about that. Either way, it did get the plate, the inside corner on the off-speed pitch. 3-2 to Noah Aguirre. Mondragon, runner goes. Swung on, line towards right field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Keller's around third. He's going to score on the RBI single by Noah Aguirre. And now that insurance run really hurts Fort Morgan as they're trailing now 6-5 with Chase Redding stepping in. Redding has popped out twice and reached on an air. He's 0 for 3. A big spot for the senior. Aguirre with plenty of speed at first. But you got to be careful here with 2 down in the 7th. Stretch by Mondragon. The pitch. Curveball is right down the middle for a strike at the knees. 0-1 to Chase Redding.
Good spot right here. Hold on now.
The Mustangs with 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th. But down by a run. The pitch. Curveball bounces in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Chase Redding. Aguirre with a 2-step lead. And Redding awaits. Here it is. Up and away. Oh, a strike. Oh, my gosh. Was that pitch called today or tomorrow? That's as late a call as I've ever seen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can't call it that late. And awaiting the pitch. Swung on and reached out. A grounder up the middle. The shortstop gloves. Throw to first in time as Bo Greer makes the play on a slow bouncer. Redding is retired. And Northridge wins the game by a score of 6-5. The Mustangs score a run. There was an error in the top of the 7th inning. Final score, Northridge 6, Fort Morgan 5, a 1-minute break on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustang post-game show is brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Get a full plan of seed, food, and water for your field. Now is the time to begin your planning for next year's growing season. Call Dusty or Roxy 970-571-2024. That is Advanced Agri Solutions. For Northridge, 6 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors, 8 left on base. The Mustangs, 5 runs, 8 hits, 5 errors, 7 left on base. The winning pitcher was Jace Reed. The loss went to Chase Redding. Time of the game, 2 hours and 4 minutes. The Mustangs got on the board in the 2nd inning, an RBI double from Charlie Langford, followed by a run-scoring single from Trey Romero, made it 2-0. Then a 2-out, 2-run single in the 4th inning from Romero made it 4-0 as he threw the ball very well. Northridge took advantage of a big Fort Morgan error in the bottom of the 5th inning. They tallied 3 runs. The big hit, a 2-run single from Mondragon, making it 4-3. Romero was not out of pitches, but Redding came on, walked the first hitter, and then on a bunt attempt, an all-out dive by Redding nearly made the catch. That set up 1st and 2nd, and eventually, on a fly ball to right field, it would have been the 2nd out with 1st and 2nd. Chase Romero threw the ball all the way through, but it was an errant throw. It took 1 hop, and it bounced over the fence for an error, scoring the run, making it 4-4. And then Redding threw a couple of wild pitches, making it 6-4 Northridge. And then with 2 outs, Noah Aguirre with an RBI single, scoring David Keller. Mustangs go down to defeat 6-5. They fall to 1-9 in Longs Peak League play, 4-11 overall, 7-3 the league record for Northridge, and 9-6 on the season. Next up for the Mustangs on Thursday, they'll be on the road against the Roosevelt Rough Riders. I'm John Beltran. The final score once again, as you've been listening to the Advanced Agri Solutions postgame show from Greeley. Northridge 6, Fort Morgan 5 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.